Well, good morning, everybody. It is pretty early on a Wednesday. Apologies for the video. It's going to be a very short video. I'm off to the airport in an Uber, but I did want to give you my perceptions of the race by races out at Durbanville today. Only a 7-race card, so that needs to be, of course, at the front of everybody's mind. With 7 races, the place accumulator will start with the first race of the day, pick 6 with the second race, and on we go. But don't get confused and think that the PA is going to start in the second race or try and play a bipod, because obviously that's not going to happen. So that's the story as far as Durbanville is concerned. I'm going to whip on through, give you my 1-2 very briefly. First race, number 2, Rewrite the Stars, is scratched. The 2 4-year-olds and Academic Gold look to be the right ones here. Academic Gold with Grant van Niekerk on board got pretty consistent form. And then the 2 4-year-olds, I think from a PA point of view, if you wanted to add there, number 4 Fleeting, I think will run better today, and number 3 Poet et Moi. So for me, 6, 4 and 3 in the opening race. Second race is interesting. In fact, quite a few interesting races today because there are maiden special weights. And you know I'm always looking for value. Don't necessarily fall in with the top weight. You've got to actually handicap these. And again, a reminder to form studiers that horses only get an official merit rating after the 3rd start, which means that if they are making their debut or they are running for the first or second time, well, the debut is the first time, but if they're running for the second time, that they are therefore going to default to, in inverted commas, top weight in that category. So, for example, in race 2, I'll give you an example in the second race. Is there an example in the second race, or have they all had starts? Yes. So if you look at, for example, Professor Snape over the page, who's run back-to-back seconds, he doesn't have an official rating. He carries 58. If he were to have run a 3rd time, I suspect he might be higher, which is the case in I think the 3rd race where Andre Nell's horse has got a bit of weight to carry. But race 2, I think, is quite competitive because it's a special weights maiden. I was looking at number 5, Ciderhouse Rules, who's having his 3rd run as a gelding. He's got blinkers on, Grant van Niekerk on, and he carries 57.5. But there are a couple of older horses here that look fairly well in. Number 6, Global Movement, might well be well in because this is a race over a mile and he's a 4-year-old, so he looks pretty solid. I think you've got to go for a couple here. Just a reminder, number 10, Madison Blues, is a scratching. There could be some improvement from number 1, Tuscan Gold, and perhaps number 4, Caitlin's Boy as well. But I thought race 2 was pretty trappy. So moving on with the 3rd race, and this is the race I was referring to. So if you have a look at number 4, Rafif's Choice, she's had 4 starts, so she actually has a merit rating of 80. And as a result, she has to carry 59.5 kilograms. So it's interesting. It's a special weights maiden, but she carries top weight, which I think therefore might make her vulnerable. I'm sure she's going to be a short price favourite. But there's others to have a look at here. I thought the 4-year-old number 8, Destined to Dance, who's only got 53.5 kilograms and gets 6 kilograms from Rafif's Choice. So if you have a look at the race, there's a race where the 2, I think there was collateral form, and I think the Destined to Dance might be a bit of value in that race. Number 1, Lady Writer, has only had the 1 start, so has to default to 58. Number 6, Trip to Barberton, has only got 54 kilograms on because she's had 3 starts. I think that she might have slipped under the radar a bit. So, and of course, number 11, Mary Lamb, who is a daughter of Dynasty. She hasn't got the draw of 11 in her favour, but the trip will definitely suit. She's a daughter of Dynasty out of a rich man's gold mare. So again, I would scratch the surface there and maybe look beyond number 4, Rafif's Choice, who certainly wouldn't be a surprise winner, but she has to carry 59.5 kilograms in race 3. Let's move on to race 4, deal with the next special maiden weights. It's maiden special weights. Here I liked a little bit number 2, Quasimodo, who's drawn 2. Grant van Niekerk rides, only got 53.5 kilograms, so to me looked pretty well in. There's some exposed form here. Obviously number 4, Future Turn, number 1, Run Rudolph Run, number 9, Spirit of Silvana. They've all had chances. But again, have a look at the weights here. There could be some improvers towards the bottom of the weights in this particular race. Even a horse like number 7 Western Wall, who's a 4-year-old, might improve. This race is over 2,000 meters, so again, at weight for age, the 3-year-olds compared to the 4-year-olds are 8 kilograms better off. And again, I come back to the fact that Quasimodo is unfortunately a 3-year-old, but only 53.5 kilograms. So again, race 4 could be a bit trapping. Well, on we go to the next race. Unfortunately, I think it gets easier, in my opinion anyway. I think race 5 is a 2-horse race. I do respect number 2, Galactic Path, who certainly can win again. He's only got 53 on his back from a 2 draw, but I expect some opposition, strong opposition from the older number 3, I Want It All, Richard Fareed, Justin Snaith, and of course Team Drakenstein, and the owners, well, the Team Drakenstein bred it. It's owned by Nick Johnson and Bjorn Nielsen, and I think he's going to improve the son of Silvano. So for me, 3 and 2 in the 5th race. 6th race is again a little bit tricky. Number 3, Aristocracy, is scratched. I think number 4, Champion Warrior, does set a standard. He's a 3-year-old who looks to have a upwardly mobile pedigree. But I do respect the older horses. Number 1, Swift Action, will jump from a 1 draw with 54.5 kilograms on his back. He looks well in, and I've spoken highly on numerous occasions of Pit Buerta. 2, All Lit Up, won very well last time. Could follow up, particularly from a 2 draw. And then number 5, Poltergeist, should those others disappoint. So something like 1, 2 and 4, not necessarily in that order, in race 6. That leaves us, I shouldn't forget number 8, Superior Leader, out of calculations either. He's actually quite well in here. I know he's drawn 8. He will come in to draw 7, but I'm going to put him in my jackpot. Speaking of which, there will be a Take a Bet jackpot for today. So that should be posted on our YouTube channel here on Clocking the Gallop. Let's move on to race 7. Well, I've always liked number 2, Bright Green, but he's a 2-year-old carrying 60 kilograms. He's nicely drawn at 2, but I think the older horse, Silvano's Dasher, might still have his measure here. Keegan de Mello, of course, has to ride for the Kaya stables. He's retained by them, but this son of Silvano has done nothing wrong, and that was a very fluent victory last time. He's got the same weight as Bright Green, so being a 4-year-old over the 3-year-old, I would be in his camp. Number 8, Silvano's Dasher. Some respect for number 9, Voldemort, who looks fairly well in as well. But the last race, I think, is straightforward. For me, it should be 8, Silvano's Dasher, 2, Bright Green, and then a mention for number 4, Tuafe, and 9, Voldemort. But that's my take on the Durbanville race meeting today. That's our preview. Good luck, 7 races. Don't forget, PA starts with the 1st.